Hello, my art people. Miss Ramsey here on my desktop. We will be making artwork soon, so don't worry, we're not just doing something in the computer. I wanted to first start with showing you a era of designs that started back in the 1920s. It was a very short-lived type of art, but it was a very fascinating type of art, and it's one of my favorite. So I have both my desktops up to be able to show you two different things that we're going to be doing. First, before I even show you that type of art that I love so much, first I'm going to tell you about something called a collagraph or a collagraph. I can't even remember what it's called. A collagraph is something that looks like this. This is what a collagraph looks like. It is a bunch of layers of either paper or objects, whatever it might be, onto a solid background. In this case, it is made out of cardboard and they have made a bunch of eyes. We will not be making something with this type of design, but we are going to make a collagraph, something that's layered. And we aren't just using found objects around the house. We will be using cardboard. But if you don't have this kind of cardboard, that's okay. I don't either. What we will be using today are cereal boxes or snack boxes that are thinner and they're easier to cut up. So this is what a collagraph is. Then when you get all done making it, then you can put just a piece of paper on top, take a crayon, and rub it with the side of the crayon, and it creates whatever image you have raised underneath. Sort of like if you were to put a quarter or a penny underneath a piece of paper and then take a pencil or a crayon and rub on top. I'm sure most of you have done that at some point. Same kind of thing. So keep in mind how this works. You have to cut up the pieces and you have to glue them down. So now that we know what it is that we're doing, here are the designs that are going to inspire us. Let me pull this up to the side on my other screen. So I've got my collagraph over here, and I've got my Art Deco designs on the right. There are more and less complicated designs, and if you look at them, they almost look like they fit together like a puzzle piece. This one looks like a puzzle piece, this one looks like a puzzle piece, this one does, but there's some that don't look like them so much, like this one and like this one. But when you pick your design, you need to make sure that it can be repeating, a repeating pattern, just like the ones that you see here, and make the design inspired from Art Deco. This was a very, like I said, a very short-lived type of art, but it is very distinct. And if somebody looks at your artwork, they are going to know that it's Art Deco. And I want to be able to have that same feeling if you send me pictures or if you bring them to school, if we get back to school anytime soon, or if anybody is at your house, they're going to know that it's Art Deco. So figure out what design you want, maybe sketch out what you want to do. Like this one right here would be nice and simple to do. This one could be more simple. You could make that one work. This one's nice and simple. This one's definitely very simple. I really like this one right here, though. I don't know what it is about that one. I just like it a lot. So search Art Deco wallpaper on your computers and then figure out what kind of design you want. Sketch out the one puzzle piece that you want to make. We are not making multiples of these. We're just making the one, and then we will repeat that one by rubbing it on paper. So I'll show us how to do that. Don't worry, I'm not just stopping here. I will create one with you. All right, now that we know what we're doing, we're gonna hop over to the camera. See you in a second. All right, I'm gonna sketch out my idea first before I even start working with any of the cardboard to make my collagraph. And I still have up on my computer screen the designs to help inspire me. So Now, if you want to pick from any of these that I have drawn, if you want to pick my easy one, like I'm going to do, you go right ahead. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit, you go right ahead also. I think this seashell shape should be okay, but again, it looks like a seashell, so I don't know if that's what you want. So look at all the Art Deco designs. Make sure you look up Art Deco wallpaper and figure out what kind of designs you want. Okay. Now that we have our sketch done, I think I'll actually keep it close by, even though I have the picture up over here to my right. Now I have bits and pieces from a cereal box. I had, what is it, rice checks? Something from Aldi's. So I have these leftover pieces. It's not the thick cardboard in the image that I showed you, but this makes it a little easier to use. So I am going to create my diamond shape on here, and I'm going to try to get this shape. So I'm going to have my diamond, and then I'm also going to make these lines. So that's what's going to make it so simple. All right, let me grab my ruler real quick so I can get started. Okay, I'm just going to use this flat side because I know it's straight, and it's going to be an easy reference for the rest of it. So we need it to be 2 inches. 1, 2, a little mark right here. And then I'm going to line up the top of my ruler. Get it nice and straight. And then I'm just going to draw to the 2-inch mark. And then wherever it's 2 inches, I know that I've got it nice and lined up. There we go. Now I've got a nice square. I know we're looking for a diamond shape, but we can just turn it and it makes a diamond. Ooh, so hard. All right, now I can cut out my square. And all I have left to do is put those lines that I have on my sketch on here. So I just have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. I think I might also do a border around the side so that I actually get these rubbed on there when we go to print it. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and speed up the camera for this step so you guys know how to cut, you guys know how to glue. I'm just gonna show you how I do it, but just in really fast motion. All right, here we go. Now, if you do not have the school glue, you can go ahead and use stick glue, like the glue that's in the sticks. I have not tried the stick glue with the cardboard, but it's glue. It should work. I think you just want to be extra gentle with it. And if you are using this glue, you need to make sure you leave plenty of time for it to dry. If you glue everything on and then you press really hard, everything's going to move. So just pat things on and then let it sit for a little while. I did a project earlier today that I glued cardboard, and I let it sit for like 20 minutes, a half hour, something like that, so I knew that it was glued. Okay, I think I'm first going to lay down those designs going out and then cover it with the frame going along the outside, just like in my drawing. Here we go.
I'm back now. It's been quite some time. I came back and checked on it, and I had some spots on the edges that were lifting up, so I just put a little glue underneath and just tacked it back down and left it. I actually left it to dry while I ate dinner, so I gave it plenty of time to dry. Now I'm just going to take my scissors and trim off these little awkward end pieces. Make sure it lines up with everything. Okay. Oh, let's get this one last little piece. There we go. Now my collagraph is ready to be rubbed onto a piece of paper. And again, you can use a piece of newspaper. You can use the printer paper I gave you. You can use notebook paper. And if you have a sketchbook, you can use sketchbook paper also. So whatever you have around your house and whatever colored crayons you have, you can just take the wrapping off of it and you can use it to rub. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of printer paper. Now that I have my printer paper, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the bottom. The place that you want to start is all the way at one of the corners, and you want to line up the edge of your collagraph and the very bottom of your collagraph in the corner. So I'm going to get, actually, you know what? Yeah, no, I want it like this. I'm going to also try to tape down my print here because it might make it a little bit easier to rub. It is doable without it, but I just thought I'd try something new. Line up the edge, line up the bottom, put it right in the corner, right there, right there. I'm going to hold the bottom and then just rub the top. Then just hold the top and rub the bottom. Use the very top to try to get into here, down here. Normally I wouldn't want to use the top, I just want to use the side. All right, so that one's done. Now I'm just going to move my print over and make sure the bottom lines up, and just use your finger to feel where the corner of your collagraph is down there. So I know it's right there. I'm going to hold the bottom. Switch, hold the top, rub the bottom. All right, then I'm just going to try to fill this in a little bit. Now I'm going to take it, move it over, find the corner, line them up, make sure the bottom is there. It looks like this is a perfect fit almost. Nice. Hold the bottom, rub the top. Hold the top, rub the bottom. All right, so now I just want to fill in these spaces in between here now and on these corners before I move on. So I'm just going to try my best to get the two corners lined up. Kind of feel it to make sure that it kind of sits in there okay. And then just rub away very carefully. There's one spot. Just gonna get this side of this one over here. It's gonna be a little challenging to hold this one, but we'll make it work. All right, there we go. Line it up. Ooh, that could have come down just a little bit. Almost done with the bottom row. Now, if you have any extra paper on the side, you can just kind of forget about it until the end and just try your best to get your design to work. And then you can just cut it off when you're done. These corner ones are going to be challenging. All right, now back to doing the rest, and we'll see how it turns out. All right, I'm just gonna fast forward and you guys get to see me work very quickly. Here we go. Now that that's all done, let's look at the final product. Definitely looks Art Deco-y to me. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love the way this looks. I can't wait to hang this up. I love it, love it, love it. Now, I would say that it would help a lot taping this down, but if you don't have any tape, you don't have to, but it definitely did help a lot to tape this down. This project is also as challenging as you make it. So if you make something that has a bunch of little lines all over the place, it's definitely going to be much, 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 much more challenging. But if you do something that's much more simple, like I did, it's definitely doable. And you just have to really, really make sure that if you do make a square or a diamond, that it is the same size on every single side. It can't just be 2.5 inches on one side and 1.5 inches on another. It's just not going to line up. The only reason why my design worked was because it was perfectly square for me to turn it into a diamond. I would say that with this project, it definitely calls for your focus. And if you have to try again, try again. If you have to make your collagraph again, you can make your collagraph again. If you make your collagraph bigger, it's going to be easier to glue down, to cut up the pieces, to make a design. I just only had so much of my cereal box left. I really did not have much left over. If you have a whole cereal box to work with and you've got bigger pieces of paper at home, I would say go for it. Or if you want to even tape a few pieces of paper together, go for it. If you want to add color to this too, this is all you after I show these steps. If you have ideas afterwards, I would love to see them. Have your parents email me a picture, or you could email me a picture off of your Google Classroom. So I would love to see what everybody makes. And again, it is as challenging as you make it. I definitely want to give us something that would be time consuming and is definitely more artistically challenging. We are not seeing me nearly as much as we usually do, and I'm sure there's been a lot of coloring and just regular art things happening at home. So this is definitely something very different and something that will definitely grow our artistic abilities while we are away. So keep trying at it, even if you fail the first 1, 2, 3, even 4 times. Keep trying. All right, good luck everybody. Bye.